Okay, yeah. We're good to go, Chair.
We're going? Going. All right, this time I'd like to have everybody go around the room and introduce yourselves and give us their name and what their affiliation is with this meeting, just so that we have it on the record.
Music start.
Sure.
I'm Howard Trenholm. I am the adjunct on the airport board from the Moab Office of Tourism Advisory Board.
AJ Throgmorton, volunteer board member.
Bill Winfield, Grand County Commissioner, liaison, not a voting member.
Randy Martin, member at large and voting member.
Jason Taylor, Moab City Council.
Bill Hawley, chair and member of the board.
Judd Hill with Lochner, the engineering and planning firm.
Steve Gleason, report director.
I'm Dana Van Horn. I'm with the Commission Admin Office.
And
Rachel.
Rachel,
Yeah, Rachel Paxman, member at large, vice chair.
all right,
And Lori Mon, San Juan County Commissioner, and I'm just a liaison, non-voting member.
Thorson,
Hi, Thorson Milton with Lochner, engineer out of Grand Junction.
with that, we'll start the meeting, so could you pull up the agenda for us? You have the agenda? Actually, I think.
I'm here to do the training.
First thing on the agenda is the training. Today we're gonna do
Can I send it to you?
No, I've got it. It's fine. Let me go ahead and get that. Hang on. Think about your meeting. I was just worried about what I was doing. I didn't plan on myself being a just stand-in, but I'm happy to do it for a minute.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
saw you were sitting in that seat.
No, it's all
You're
good.
sitting in the seat.
I'm happy to help.
Getting hotter.
You're a one-armed paper hanger, and yes, it is. Thank you for asking, sir. Okay. Preview, come on, buddy. Download this so that it's bigger. Alyssa Martin, is she your people?
All right, can everybody,
Yes.
can everybody see that?
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen.
Gotta approve the minutes first.
What do you need?
That's what we want, we're gonna follow the order, here, so. Whatever it says. Scroll down.
We'll get there, sorry.
All right. I hear a motion to approve the minutes from the January 5.
When they didn't know sent out, we'll postpone.
Was not posted.
No.
Okay,
Just
so
where you got those done.
I thought they were posted on the original work they were.
Citizens to be heard.
All right, we'll table number one then, if that's okay, everybody, look at them next meeting. So item 2 is the,
We skipped citizens to be heard. I don't think there are any, but
yeah.
anybody online have anything?
Anybody there? Okay, item 2.
Okay. I am here to do a short video training. It is literally, less than 8 minutes long, and all you guys have to do is watch it and it'll satisfy the Open and Public Meetings Act training that both the county and the state require for all volunteer board members, so. We need to get that, not the right thing, where'd you go? It's bigger. Man. Crack myself up. Play. Make it bigger.
There we go.
So what's the Open and Public Meetings Act? It's the state law that ensures government actions and deliberations are openly conducted. Before we continue, keep in mind that this video is an overview, and exceptions may exist based on your entity type. So what's considered an open and public meeting? It's when a governing body majority needs to discuss or act upon government business. It includes the meetings sometimes referred to as workshops or executive sessions. Regular meetings, public hearings, electronic meetings, and emergency meetings are all open and public meetings. Open and public meetings don't include chance or social meetings. A public hearing is a type of open and public meeting where citizens have a reasonable opportunity to speak. Public hearings happen when a government adopts a budget or imposes or increases taxes or fees. An electronic meeting is a type of open and public meeting that's convened electronically, such as via phone or the internet. Remember, the governing body must adopt a resolution, rule, or ordinance allowing and governing electronic meetings. An open and public meeting may be closed to discuss any of the following: a person's character, competence, or health, security personnel, devices, or systems deployment, collective bargaining, litigation, purchase, sale, or lease of property if an open discussion would prevent the entity from completing the transaction on the best terms, investigations of criminal misconduct, and private or protected information for the Utah Procurement Code, including trade secrets. 2/3 of the governing body need to vote yes to close a meeting. Quick math lesson. 2 divided by 3 equals 66.7%. Let's say your governing body has 5 members. If 3 out of the 5 members vote yes, that equals 60%, which is not equal to or greater than 66.7%, which means you're 1 member short and instead need 4 out of 5 members to vote yes. During a closed meeting, a governing body can't interview someone applying to fill an elected position, discuss filling a midterm vacancy or temporary absence, discuss the character, competence, or health of a person whose name was submitted for consideration to fill a midterm vacancy or temporary absence, or approve any ordinance, resolution, rule, regulation, contract, or appointment. If a closed meeting is discussing a person's character, competence, or health, or security personnel, devices, or systems deployment, no recording or minutes are required. However, the presiding member needs to sign a sworn written statement stating such. If the closed meeting is held for any other reason, a recording must be made. Emergency meetings may be held to discuss an urgent matter due to unforeseen circumstances. In order to hold the meeting, the best notice that's feasible is provided at the time, location, and topics to be considered. An attempt is made to contact all governing body members, and the governing body majority approves the meeting. Entities that hold regular meetings need to provide notice at least annually of the year's meeting schedule. As always, the notice must include date, time, and place. For entities that don't hold regularly scheduled regular meetings, 24 hours notice must be provided. All meetings, whether regularly scheduled in advance over the course of the year or scheduled as needed, must provide no less than 24 hours notice of meeting agendas. If a public hearing is held, public notice requirements change. Make sure to distinguish between regular meeting notice requirements and public hearing notice requirements. For regular meetings, an entity is only required to notify a newspaper and doesn't need to pay to publish a notice. For public hearings, notice must be published in at least one issue of a newspaper. If a newspaper of general circulation isn't available, written notice is posted in 3 public places within the entity's boundaries. Regular meetings require 24 hours notice. Public hearings require 7 days notice. For both regular meetings and public hearings, written notice must be posted at the principal office of the governing body, or, if no such office exists, at the building where the meeting will be held. Governing bodies must also provide notice of open and public meetings on the public notice website at publicnotice.utah.gov. By posting on the website and providing the email of the local newspaper, Governing bodies can also meet the requirement to notify a newspaper. However, other requirements such as publishing in a newspaper still apply. Typically, posting on the public notice website is done by the records officer, recorder, or clerk. However, it's the governing body's responsibility to ensure notice is provided. State Archives has prepared a training manual and quick guide for owners and posters, as well as training videos that can be accessed at their website at archives.utah.gov. If your entity is increasing a fee or undergoing truth and taxation for a property tax increase, be aware that there are additional notice and posting requirements. Public meeting agendas need to include reasonably specified topics to be considered, with each topic listed under a separate agenda item on the meeting agenda. The governing body may not consider a topic in an open meeting that wasn't on the agenda. If a new topic not on the agenda is raised by the public during an open meeting, the governing body may discuss the topic. However, final action may not be taken on the new topic during that meeting. Meeting minutes and an audio recording are required for all open meetings, with limited exceptions. When an open or closed meeting is required to be recorded, it must be unedited and contain all portions of the meeting. Recordings of open meetings must be made available within 3 days. Every entity needs to establish procedures for the governing body's approval of minutes. Pending minutes are written minutes prepared in draft form and are subject to change before being approved by the governing body. Pending minutes must contain a clear indication, such as a draft or pending watermark, that the governing body hasn't yet approved the minutes and that they're subject to change. Pending minutes must be made available in 30 days. Approved minutes are written minutes of a meeting that have been approved by the governing body. Approved minutes are the official record of the meeting and must be made available within 3 business days. Whoever is responsible for taking the minutes during meetings, typically the records officer, recorder, or clerk, needs to be familiar with what OPMA requires be contained in the minutes. When a governing body closes a meeting, the following must be publicly announced and entered into the minutes of the open meeting at which the closed meeting was approved. The reason or reasons for holding the closed meeting, the location where the closed meeting will be held, and the vote of each member of the governing body, either for or against the motion to close the meeting. The recording and any minutes must include the date, time, and location of the meeting, the names of the governing body members present and absent, and the names of all others present, except where disclosure would infringe on the confidentiality necessary to fulfill the original purpose of closing the meeting. For more information, access our local government resource center at resources.auditor.utah.gov.
No test.
No test.
No possible, Beethoven.
Okay, let me bring your agenda back up. Oops. You guys, is that thing out of the way enough? Does anybody have any questions about the OPMA, about any meetings?
You still each have to go online though and submit, no?
Nope,
That's it?
this does it. I will send this to the state auditor's office and to our HR department, and it will cover you. You won't get a certificate, but it will be checked off on their spreadsheets and you'll be good to go. And I talked
Thank
to
you.
them last week about that.
Until next year.
Until next time, yeah. So here's this, you can scroll.
Okay.
Scroll, and when you're done. Stop here, I guess. When you're done, go back to the Zoom and hit end meeting, and it'll end everything, and it is on YouTube, you're recording now, it should be fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Does it cover what? Yeah, I wrote Rachel down, but I need to put, Lori's not already done it, and she's not on board, right?
She is a non.
Oh, she's a liaison, and then who was the other person that was on there, Alyssa? With Cindy Martin.
There is.
Thorson doesn't need it and Melissa is with the airport, so she was needed there.
That's all I need to know. Thanks for coming.
All right. So project reports are up next. Judd?
We've got Judd here.
So that, okay. And Thorsten, okay. Come on. And Thorsten will call me out if I get anything wrong. But, so first project, taxiway Alpha One relocation, it's in closeout. We're basically waiting on the AGIS survey results and the FAA acceptance on Alpha One. The taxiway expansion project, the closeout has started, but we still have final paint that won't happen until nice weather in the spring, like January or February this year. Get painted. But that's scheduled for later this spring, so that once that happens, then the project will go through closeout. The apron expansion construction is slated to start early to mid-March. That is for the new concrete apron. There needs to be a Rocky Mountain Power Agreement signed before getting the RFR.
Right.
Eric.
So Thorsten, was that sent through Eric, our whole finance group was on a training last week, so.
Yes, Eric sent that today,
Okay,
not too long ago, actually.
okay. Yeah, if you just been out of the office at a training for the week.
I have a color coded map too that is not on this computer that I'll send to all of you that shows you where the projects are all located. Thorson,
Yes, sir.
you've got, well, never mind, you can't take over the screen and show that if anybody wanted to see it.
I can try. Yeah, give me one moment to pull it up and see if I can do this.
Well, he's doing that.
him to do it, I don't. All right, well, I'll just send it to everybody.
Yeah, that's the easy way.
I didn't consider it, I would have brought it, I'm sorry.
So there's the apron expansion, which will be starting, that's a lot of dirt work, so they can start that when weather is still pre-paving periods. The apron reconstruction start mid to late summer, and that is gonna be the area in front of the fuel farm and in front of the county-owned hangars.
Did all the dollars happen for that? Is all the line for all these?
From the FAA.
All the
Yeah,
FAs.
but there's a portion of Grand County, if we're gonna pave right up to the hangars that we still have to deal with,
Yes,
correct?
yes, we will still have to get
The
approval for
50
that.
foot in front of
Yeah,
the
right.
hangars, that
So
has,
that's the only thing that's not unfunded.
correct.
For the ARP acquisition, so we'll need the grant application signed as soon as possible. It's ready to be sent. We've sent it for
Can we go back to the apron reconstruction,
Yes.
or the date?
So Thorsten, do we have anything more right now in your summary? I got mid to late summer. Is that June, July, August?
I would anticipate so. Kind of need to get scheduled with TSJ. The hope is to have the apron expansion finished before they start digging into that apron.
It just gives more room to, it can work if they're both happening simultaneously. It would just be a cluster. It'd
Yeah,
be
two separate contractors on those jobs.
Yeah, it can technically work.
It'll be difficult for us to keep everybody
But-
functioning.
Yeah, it would be significantly. Yeah, can work, we don't want it to.
As soon as we have dates on those, we'll get them not only this board, but to all the affected, everybody at the airport.
So do we know the county cost for the 50 feet?
Yeah, Thorson had an estimate for that extra 50 feet.
Yeah, it's been bid, so we have, and
Okay.
Thorsten, can you
Do
pull
you have
that
that in front
up?
of you?
Yep, pulling it up right now.
Okay.
And does that go how far down to the south?
To the area. Everything that hadn't been previously done in the last half dozen years.
So down to the new paved line that would just paved, it goes all the way down to that.
The idea is to finish out all of the unpaved, or excuse me, the areas that have not previously been addressed. Is that correct, Torsten? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the locally funded scheduled, TSJ had their bid price was $164,768.43. 165,000 for a nice number.
Thank you.
And then for the 50 feet.
Mhm.
I'll get you the spreadsheet too.
Is that gonna be shown on the map you're sending us, that
Yes.
extra
Yeah.
county part?
Yes.
And it's easy to see on Google Earth, it's the one area that looks like Swiss cheese where everything
Yeah.
else is nice smooth
Yeah,
asphalt.
and when you're out there, you can see very easily where,
Oh, yeah.
where the cutoff line is, yeah.
So with the ARF vehicle, the grant application, it needs to be signed as soon as possible so that can get to the FAA, which it's ready to go. Just tell us when to send it. And
Who's signing that?
Probably even Melody, I would think.
Do we have it to admin?
yes,
Okay.
so we're sending it in with some conversations with Stephen, with Dana, been requested to send everything to them and not send anything to directly to the chair until we get the thumbs up from them.
Yeah.
Do we have any trade-ins for that, or is it just straight up? Well,
No, on the fire engine, no, we're keeping the other one as a backup.
right, what about the smaller vehicles?
Those are all hand-me-downs already.
Okay.
Yeah, we've still got it. We're not trading it in for anything.
I'm just looking at, how many vehicles we have to. keep
Our issue
going.
is just where we're gonna put it.
Well, where we're gonna put it, and do we need to keep all of it with a new truck?
Not necessarily.
The only, right now, your existing ARF1 truck is the only truck that is a certified
Yeah,
ARF vehicle.
understand.
Everything-
The other one's more of a brush and of a truck we kept for that reason. But we can evaluate whether we still need it because we are running out of room to put stuff and we don't want to put anything outside of the building. We've discussed internally with the staff where we're gonna kind of jockey around to make sure everything fits, but I'm gonna talk to my ARF people and my fire folks once we get the new ops manager position hired. Decide what we want to do with that.
And the ARF station itself was originally designed to hold 2 of those trucks, plus a third pickup truck size vehicle or tractor,
Right,
or
which is where
whatever,
we're currently-
smaller guy.
Yeah, it's just all the other stuff.
And the snow removal equipment building was
Right.
built a little bit bigger than
Yeah.
needed for the equipment on hand, so.
But we are running out of room.
Done everything possible to make buildings as big as possible, but still stay within federal funding guidelines. You could always double the size of a building if you want to pay for double the price a year. But, then, with it, Stephen, I've been negotiating with the Oshkosh. They're gonna be able to start working on basically a down payment. And with that, there needs to be the first step for that, they will send an invoice for $250,000 that would have to be paid. And prior to doing that, though, they need to have the signed contract. That's where the venue clause came up this afternoon.
Right,
So
so
we'll address
it's
that.
going through review.
It's going through legal
The
review.
county attorney found something they want to change, so that's why it's, so we'll have to make that change.
Add in the clause, I got that.
So I'm not sure
Walking
everybody
everything.
here even knows why we're doing the $250 down payment. Well, we had gotten a loan from CIB, right?
Right.
Turns out there were some expenses attached to that loan. So the county wanted to try and avoid some of those expenses like interest and just paperwork to the bank and all the stuff they tack on. So in order to avoid that, Judd was able to get Oshkosh to agree to take 25%. So we're gonna basically be sending them $250,000 as a down payment, and they're gonna go ahead and build the truck without full payment, and then we will make the full payment when the grant offer comes through and we accept the vehicle. So
The
Yeah.
250,000 will then be paid back to the county coffers. It's just a pull, and we'll be pulling that out for
Right,
temporary.
we're floating it to get them started.
And all of that will happen within this calendar / fiscal year. So there won't have to be any,
Yeah, we have our line, we have our place in the line already assured.
Yes.
no, well, not until they get a check for $250,000.
I thought you were talking about the grant
No, the place in line.
for the truck.
Yeah,
Okay.
not
Yeah, they
until
need the
they
money.
get the signed contract, which is again, com admin. And then they will, as soon as they get the signed contract, they will issue an invoice for 25% of the total cost. So it'd actually be, I mean, this is something actually, now we're talking real dollars. The actual price of the truck was, I think, 1 million, or some, you can maybe be pulling up that bid, but I believe it was $1,064,000.
Yeah.
So it would be 25% of 1,064,000.
A little more than 250, somewhere in that range.
255 or 200 and, yeah.
I was gonna mind that.
64,000 and change.
Sounds like a pretty good deal with a quarter down and save some of that interest and loan overhead.
Yeah, I believe that's close to $50,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bond, the paperwork for the bond has a cost attached to it. I think that loan was 34,000. Wow. So that and some of the interest, why we're about 50K we're saving by pulling it out of our own funds and then repaying it. So.
Local share with both elements, which includes the fire truck as well as the second element, which is the ARP auxiliary equipment. The match on local side is $75,200.
Right, but what's just schedule one of the truck, 25% of that, I believe it was 1,064,000, but I'm.
Yeah, the price of the truck was 1,064,000. I can do some math real quick.
Okay. Yeah, because there were two bids put out for the truck, one for the truck, one for the equipment. Oshkosh Manufacturing got the truck. Rosenbauer got the bid for the equipment. That one won't be touched until the federal grant comes in. The equipment is hoses, axes, air packs, the kind of stuff that fire supply companies have on the shelf, so it doesn't take the long time to get that going.
Yeah, if you've never had one of the ARF people walk you around the truck and show you all the equipment, specialized equipment that's on that thing, it's worth doing. And JP would be happy to show you around.
It is designed.
So
25% on the truck is 266,173. So 266,140. Very nice number.
Commission already approved that.
That truck is
done at the
designed
Lands Commission.
I'm sorry, I did
just for any commercial aircraft that will fly into this airport in the next 25 years, that truck is designed for one person to attack that. So it's pricey, but it's worth it. And hopefully you never have to use it.
Yeah.
Then, so that's the ARF truck. The next project is the entrance road. There is a grant application that also needs county signature. The scope of, so with that, the first step is doing an independent fee estimate on the scope of work. So anytime that our contract is over $100,000, give or take a little bit, it goes out to a third party, another engineering company, and they take our scope and they look at everything that we're gonna do and put hours, this many hours for this type of person at this rate, and it comes up with a cost. And then here's our fees, here's their fees, they're within roughly 10%, then it can be approved.
I haven't received those back yet. They're with me.
Neil, okay,
So, and that's all AIP covered, by the way. That's all still part of the grant, is to do the independent fee estimate.
that's one where the airport will, or the county will have to send out a check, it's roughly, what was it, 3,500?
Yeah.
So $3,500 for that independent fee estimate, and then there's another one, but that check gets written to that third-party engineer now. Then we can establish our contract, we can do the project, eventually you will get a grant. And the first invoice that gets generated to draw down on that grant will include that $3,500, at which point you'll be reimbursed 95% of it.
And who's the grant from?
The FAA
Okay.
And what year is that in?
this year.
Was it this, in,
Yeah,
hoping to do that project then this year also?
yeah, we've got
Yeah.
a lot of projects going.
So
Right.
Taxiway Alpha One, that was a 24 grant done in 25. We're just waiting on closeout. Taxi lane expansion, a 25 project done in 25, waiting on paint this year, then that project closes out. The apron expansion and the apron reconstruction were 2025 projects funded in FY 2025. But the funding didn't come from the FAA until September, at which point it made it impossible to do construction. So that's why construction's happening now, but it was a 2025 grant. Twenty
Which twenty-six, is not unusual.
Yeah.
Those grants usually will be sent out in the fall.
yeah, they say they're gonna come on May 1st every single year, and every single year they come, you're happy if you see them in July. More likely it's August, September.
Yeah.
End of September, before October 1st of the new year. The ARF truck, the entrance road and pavement preservation are all 2026, FY 2026 projects. Like I said, the ARF truck we talked about, the entrance road, waiting on the IFB and need the grant application signed for that, or all 326 projects need the grant application signed as soon as possible.
The 5% funding above the projects, the county knows about all that.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's also with county admin right now. We have a chart that kind of shows where the money's coming from and what the county will owe. Okay.
And then the third project for 2026 is airfield pavement preservation. Also needs the grant application signed, and that also is out for independent fee estimate. With that one, just put it out very much in the open record that you're gonna do pavement maintenance on the runway, which means at various points we'll do everything possible to minimize the airport being closed, but the airport will be closed. You can't redo
This
the,
isn't for a super long period of time
It's
either. These are pretty
day-
quick.
What is it?
the time.
No, the maintenance.
It's basically, it's the equivalent of a chip seal on a city road. It's rejuvenation, oil and remarking. And
Not quite like a chip seal, because
Yeah,
chip
okay,
seal
there's no
has
chips
the
going
gravel
down.
and stuff. No,
So
this is
it's,
just like coal tar or whatever
it's,
they're
yeah,
using
a
now.
mastic, any cracks that exist, there will be a mastic rubber basically put into those cracks. It's put in a special way so you can plow over with a snow plow and it doesn't rip out. Then there's also oil spray that's put down on all of the surface, and then all of the markings are redone.
It's
Thorson, does that also
it's a crack
include,
seal. The
Yeah.
final result of it is it's basically a coat of black paint that we're putting on there that also has some emulsifiers to get into the pavement.
does it have rubber removal, Thorson? I can't remember.
It does, yes.
Okay, so on the main runway, there's certain areas where there's a lot of rubber built up where the main tires of large aircraft hit and melt the rubber in. This will also include rubber removal in those areas.
Is there certain times of the year that this has to be done, this work? I
You'd
mean,
love to do the crack sealing when it's as cold as possible.
as
and
cold, so
do
that
the
could happen in
other
the
as
winter
hot as
months.
possible, but
Oh,
since
God.
we're doing this all at the same time.
Spring and fall.
We're gonna do it when it's kind of somewhere in the middle.
You want cold because the cracks are separated?
Exactly, and then you want the oil, the emulsification oil, the spray oil going over all the surface, you
When
want
it's
that
hot.
as hot as possible, so you get the best penetration into it. But it usually works out as a shoulder season, spring or fall, where it's not quite cold enough and not quite hot enough to be perfect for either.
Every time we've done this at any airport, this is how it goes.
So this, they have to close the airport for that day, basically.
It'll be a couple of days.
So like Contour couldn't come in or,
Correct, so it'll be lots of notification as soon as possible, utilize as much off times as possible, but you
Yeah,
can't
the
have.
hope is runway closure overnight and have them do overnight work, which is definitely doable in this kind of situation for the runway. And then as far as phasing, getting the taxiways done, all the connectors, that can be a little more fluid and get some parts closed, some parts while the runway's open, and we'll just have to work through phasing.
We'll get lots of lead time so that everybody
Absolutely.
knows. And so.
Dirt strip's out of commission for that too then, because you can't cross the runway. So the dirt landing strip would be out.
Correct.
Yeah.
It would be, there are certain times where. There will be certain times where it'll be entire airport closure. And not
We
even,
only have.
For how long are you thinking?
and the painting will probably be the longest component, painting the runway itself. But we'll do everything we can to cover it at night. I think the total project, Thorson, is what, 2 weeks, but not 2 weeks of closure. 2 weeks of project. A lot of that is, we'll do as much as we possibly can at night. But yeah, it's just that catch of,
Yeah.
you can't work on a runway without closing the
But
runway.
the issue I have, just he brought up the problem with the dirt strip, which I hadn't thought about. We just have one set of axes.
Believe the project will include, the contractor will be required to bring in light
Bring their own lighted axes, okay.
Yeah.
Keep them.
Not on FA, they stopped allowing that.
They did.
In this ADO in 2017.
Yeah, cause we got to keep them.
We need to land on F in the meantime.
I know, I was gonna say.
Don't say that out loud and don't tell me.
You're kidding.
So that's all of the projects.
So, the 27 projects, we probably ought to put that on the agenda and talk about that, since that's gonna happen. We'll start working on those this year.
Yeah, okay. We can do that.
Okay.
I'll talk to you about it.
I'll just,
Yeah, no, I'll talk to you about it and put it on the agenda.
okay. Count as, we got anything more on projects?
Isn't that enough? Holy cow.
Yeah, that's a lot. So, Bill, County?
Okay, what's the county got? We talked about some of my stuff already a little bit. Just to wrap up, we will probably be sending some sort of a letter back to CIB of thank you, but we don't need the money. We hope to be able to come and beg again in the future type of thing. And regarding the fire truck, what else did we touch on briefly? I think we covered it with those fees, the money that we're trying to save there. And then the county has put together a airport subcommittee, which is to try and get a little bit more information to the commissioners to be a little bit more involved in what goes on out at the airport. And the hope is to maybe have the commissioners more educated, maybe less, I don't know what you want to call it on the dais, or controversy and some things along those lines. And then to also to try and get some economic development direction for the airport, where we'd like to see it go. And then future land acquisition for whatever that would be needed for, what do we call it, when the taxiway's got to be moved to the south there. So right now there's not room enough. It will take some SITLA land, so that it's just, there's a whole list of items that we're gonna start exploring and seeing what we can get hammered out, which direction the commission wants to go on some of that stuff. So there's that. I don't know of anything else. I mean, the economic development, we're gonna have, clearly with that meeting, we'll have our economic development lady attend those meetings, and I think the first one is this Thursday at 11. It would be great to have the full map, forget the
airport layout plan,
Yep.
or the terminal area layout.
sure and all of that, so that when we're trying to bring everybody up to speed, why we can give them as much information as possible. I know there's already talks a little bit because Keith is gonna want access down the backside. Rusty's hangar's already questioning what's going on there, and Even if it's 10 years or 5 years down the road, I think we wanna start getting a look at what the steps are to start accomplishing some of that.
Can you overlay it with the drone pictures too? That'd be too hard.
We could, I don't see it happening by Thursday, I think just, I'll be.
I'm just curious.
Howard's got some
I
questions.
just wondering in the long-term radar, is there any consideration for another runway expansion that could accommodate larger jets? Just as a long-term, I mean, obviously,
So in short, on the current ALP, no, there's not a runway extension. However, right now your runway is actually in pretty good shape for the types of aircraft that would likely be servicing this. The one difference is not about the runway length or the runway width. It is about the distance between the runway and the taxiway. Currently, runway to taxiway is 300 feet. That is for a C2 designation. C2, and that's just a way airports are laid out, A to E, 1 to 6. A1 would be a little Cessna, E6 would be a Boeing 777 or something big like that. Right now you have 300 feet that suits the Embraer 135 currently being flown, Embraer 145, an alternative 50-seat plane, the CRJ 200 that you used to have service with, the CRJ 550 and the CRJ 700. Those are planes that are in the 50 to 70 seat, depending on how they're oriented. The next size up aircraft, which is where airlines are buying now, thus removing the smaller planes in the future, those are going to require 400 feet of separation. The last airport layout plan that was done for the airport looked at two possibilities, making the runway wider and eventually moving the taxiway, or making the runway into a taxiway and then building an entire new runway to the north/west, basically tearing down that mountain to the side. Those were both looked at as possible options, and it almost is a toss-up of the cost of building a taxiway on one side or tearing down the mountain on the other, because of the significant amount of dirt, roughly 150 feet wide, averaging about 15 feet deep per 6,000 feet long. It's a little bit of dirt that needs to be moved in.
You've all been out there, you see how far it's rushed.
maybe you'd have the answer.
I just tearing down the mountain or peeling easier.
And then for tearing down the mountain, you would have to basically be tearing down about 300 or 400 feet of a mountain to do that, to move that. I mean, that's, if you look over in Grand Junction, that's what they've been doing for the last 3 years now.
They've been working on tearing mountain down for 3 or 4 years.
I was just thinking long-term strategies.
So the trigger,
But to kill the people to put the runway where it is now.
the trigger will be the aircraft, so.
I can always dream, right? I mean,
Yeah, right.
If we suddenly had a carrier coming in with an aircraft that could not use what we have now, then the FAA would bump us way up on that schedule to get that done.
So it is in the medium-term plan, the 5+ years to do that taxiway project. But that would be the largest single dollar project that the airport's ever done, roughly in today's dollars in that $30 to $40 million project.
It's a big one.
Wow.
But an EAS or somebody similar with a bigger jet would prompt a higher ranking with the FAA for.
It would probably move it up so that we can meet the safety requirements, yeah, or 139 would not.
more traffic though, potentially, you know,
Yeah.
from economic development point of view.
Well, there's a lot of problems though. If we suddenly had an airplane that was that big, it would have more than 60 seats on it, which would mean a lot of different things that would have to happen at the airport. We'd have to go to a full badging. Yeah, it'd
It's a bigger deal.
be a massive change for us.
60 seats is the key number used by DOT. Less than 60 seats, you have exactly the security protocols you have in place now. 60 seats or more, then you have full badging, which means every single person having access.
Full ASP, everybody gets background check
Fingerprint, background check.
every day.
I don't get my
Or-
code
or
through
your-
5-minute little
No
section
code. Now you
You
go
get
through
it
a
for
class.
Badge.
2 hours.
with towering come into play.
We create a badge class.
Towering is the number of operations of aircraft, not the size of aircraft.
Yeah.
With a few exceptions, but generally speaking.
The wide open is our
In the
airspace, that's
in
just
the
not.
past, what's happened is just as an aside, to get more passengers, you bring in more small airplanes. You know, when you don't have the big airport, we just up the number of flights.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
it's
another
not,
set of problems.
it's not that we couldn't, it's just gonna depend on employments and how popular we get.
So there is a CRJ 700, that's a 70-seat aircraft that can land on the airport right now in terms of size, not in terms of number of seats. Now, airlines have reconfigured that to keep it less than 60 seats. It's a really cool layout, but
Sounds comfy.
it's not the size of the aircraft. This aircraft could hold 70 seats. It's how many seats are actually.
It's comfy,
on the
it's just not very cost effective.
Yeah,
So,
they don't have you crammed in like sardines. Sweet.
no, so anyway. But it is all in the ALP. Just- It's all really.
That's all I've got. All right, City of Moab?
I don't have a whole lot. We got a few projects we're working on, some flood mitigation projects that are. I'd like to say wrapping up, but they're not. Probably got a couple funds on those. Working on. Hopefully garbage cans will come down, on Main Street soon. As you can see, we've started the concrete project and it's poured in front of the information center. It looked like they moved blankets today and look pretty good and keep on going on that. And, no, just like I say, I would like to tell Steve and Bill, thanks for pushing the funding for that contract. I still feel it's a huge thing. So,
Yeah, and I could have updated a little bit about that in the county's thing, but with is it the RFP? Or an
Yeah.
RFP for the new EAS or AES, whatever we end up with. We have a study that's being done and we hired a company, Luke Schmidt is the.
Schmidt and Associates, yeah.
And Associates. And they're doing basically an economic study and then they will help us with the negotiations when it comes down. And I think there's 3 airlines that have shown interest. Contour is still interested, SkyWest and Denver.
Denver Air Connect.
Oh, Denver Air Connection. So we'll go through that process and he'll kind of hold our hands through it and help us with the negotiations as we get closer, so.
Yeah, and we can talk more about that during the.
Yeah, and it's gonna give us a lot of information, our leakage, what we're losing everywhere, not just Grand Junction. I mean, even I fly out of Montrose sometimes, so it'll look at the surrounding area and help us out. So we're eager to get that one moving forward.
And we need it fairly quickly.
Yeah.
We've got about 60 days.
Travel Council?
Travel Council, we'll see if we reap the rewards of everything we sowed last year as far as our marketing strategy goes and if the numbers are up. And I think something that the board will be discussing this year will be the EAS. And from a tourism standpoint, perhaps what best serves our community and such, so. Really, not too much else going on, we're just hoping for a busy spring and it's been a pretty decent winter so far, so.
Well, if you're gonna be looking at the EAS or the AEAS, just know that RFP it hit the street January.
Yeah, it's happening
30th.
really imminently, right?
Yeah, and then there's a 30 days that it has to just be out on the street. Then after 30 days, there's another 30-day comment period. And at that point, is when we pull the trigger. So, it's gonna happen pretty quickly here. So we'll probably come in at our next airport board meeting and have a lot more information about who is going to apply because they will have done so already because they're gonna do so within 30 days. So, yeah, so when we come to the next airport board meeting, we will have all that information. I'll probably bring Luke, our consultant and we can get more down to brass tacks.
We're just hopeful we'll have more seats. I mean, there's the recollection of the previous SkyWest services we had. And I really think Salt Lake City will be featured greatly because it is such a growing airport too. Numbers are pretty according to the Office of Tourism, the airport numbers for Salt Lake City are quite, so we need to have service to Salt Lake, I believe. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
even when we had SkyWest previously, I think the numbers were less than 1,000, you know, Denver definitely brought in more. But it still wasn't miles apart.
No, so Salt Lake is the first one everybody brings up whenever you talk to them about connections. But yeah, historically, when you look at the numbers, it didn't do as well as Denver did. That doesn't mean it did poorly, it just didn't do as well as Denver did.
Okay, that's-
It,
So,
all right, airport director.
Okay,
He's got a lot to say.
I'm just gonna cover a couple of things. The first one is about the AEAS. We've already had our meetings at the place of business of the three airlines we think are showing the most interest. That doesn't mean there might not be someone else. There just aren't all that many that can operate out of our airport and fly EAS service. So the ones that we've spoken to, of course, Contour, who is here now. And we've met with SkyWest and Denver Air Connections are the ones I've met with. All three were great meetings, very strong. We're gonna have three good options. They're not gonna be a bad option here is what I'm saying. We've got three that I think can provide excellent service for us. So that all of you know, now is the time that the airlines are going to come to the airport and you would all be invited to come and meet them, see the aircraft they're going to be flying. And ask them any questions that you might have. So our first one will be SkyWest. They're coming February 17th. And they'll be here at 12:30 PM. They'll be
what
flying
was that date again for Skywest?
February 17th.
17th, next Monday.
At 12:30 PM. They'll be flying a CRJ 550. So that would be the aircraft they would propose to fly to Salt Lake. That's not the aircraft they would use to go to Denver. They would use 145 to go to Denver. Then we will have Contour. And they will be here February 18th at 2 PM. So that's gonna be your opportunity to talk to them and ask them any questions that you might have. And then Denver Air Connections. I haven't got a confirmation of the time yet, but they will be here Thursday, February 19th.
You
Sorry.
had them scheduled for the morning of the 18th.
We did, they changed it. They needed to alter it. They couldn't get the aircraft here, so they will be on the 19th. And we'll probably try and do that at 9:30 AM. And as soon as I get confirmation on that, I'll make sure everybody knows.
Okay.
And they'll be coming in a 145. So we'll be able to tour the aircrafts and talk to the CEOs of these companies and, you know, ask them the questions that you want answered, and they'll be able to do that. Like I said, our meetings with all three of these airlines went very well. They all seem very eager to serve our area and all seem very capable of doing so. So I think we've got some good choices ahead of us. But those are the next most important parts of the EAS. We do have a presentation. It's not in its completed form yet that we've been sharing with these airlines because we have to move so quickly. And I can probably send you guys all a copy of that. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll send you a copy of what we've got so far. Yeah.
I will ask, I mean, just from a marketing point of view, getting this done quickly before it launches, whoever it is, that we're able to do a little bit of marketing ahead of if there's any changes.
Right, we would wanna do this.
What kind of, when do you think it would
As
be?
close to the 60 days, so that would be like March 30th. We probably wanna wrap it up as quickly as possible so that if there is a change, they can start
Sure.
marketing for that changeover.
Okay.
If there's not a change, it will be fairly smooth. There won't be kind of a downtime.
Great. So
Because the changeover is gonna take place, just as fate would have it, right at our busiest time, which is the end of September.
yes.
Remind us when the RFP goes out.
It's already out. It went out January 30th.
So when's, the closings, I guess what I should say.
Now, you've got a 30-day period where it's on the street, and then you've got a 30-day comment period.
Okay.
So
So
60 days from January 30th
End of
is kind of drop dead.
And the existing contract is through September 30th.
Yeah, and I did check, just so everybody knows, there's a couple of articles that have gone out. The FAA will often send out these EAS, RFPs in conjunction with another airport, so ours went out with Vernal. But we are not, beholden to what Vernal decides. We can both, we can both go with a different airline if that's the way that we choose.
And I just did some research this morning.
Yeah.
For surrounding areas, yours, Vernal, and Page, Arizona are all expiring in the end of September. Alamosa, Colorado is expiring the end of June. Page, Vernal, and Moab are all Contour. Alamosa is Key Lime Air, DVA, or Denver Air Connect.
Denver connection.
DVA, Key Lime
Yeah.
Air. So this is the other.
No, it's the other way around. We're Key Lime Air.
Key Lime DVA.
Yeah,
Okay.
you had it right the first time.
Okay, but those are the four closest EAS airports that are going out this year. There are other ones, like Cedar City's also EAS, but they're not going out for another years.
So there's potential for a lot of shakeup and or potential for status quo. I guess we'll see how it all plays out.
We're at one of these airlines bids for Vernal and Page and us. Is that a consideration if they somehow bid less because they're the area, they can serve multiple, that happen?
I don't know.
I've not
I don't
seen
know.
it happen, because even in historically, when you've had bids going in for Vernal and Moab at the same time, the submittal, and you can still see it on records or
I guess they
records.gov,
can't
where
count on getting that. I think you're saying because there's so many of them, maybe they can do it cheaper.
They don't do it that.
But they don't do it that way because it's really not that much closer.
I wonder.
And they don't know if they're gonna get it, so they have to bid it as though they won't. So,
Okay.
yeah.
and each individual bid is for, it's not one bid, it's explicitly calculated for that particular airport. Yeah.
So as far as going any further into, the EAS stuff, I don't think probably in the public meeting right now would be, the time to do it. But I would encourage all of you to come out to the airport and, meet with the CEOs, talk to them.
So we just need that last.
Get
time.
your list of questions and get ready. I'm gonna count on it being at 9:30 AM, so put that down, and then if that's not the time they are showing up, I'll make sure that I let y'all know.
That's the Denver Air Connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, I'm not sure it would do us much good in a public meeting to go into this any further right now. We're just not there yet. But I think in our next meeting, we'll have, a lot more to share and talk about because you will have spoken to them and we can kind of start leaning in a direction at that.
Can I offer an invite to the other
Everybody.
officers and board members, just in case they want
And
to?
invite, all your folks, invite everybody.
Yeah, I'll be out of town, but I'll try to get some city people up there.
Yeah, we would like as many people there as possible. We'll just do it right there in the terminal building. We'd like everybody to be able to tour all three aircraft and kind of see what the situation is and talk to the people that are gonna be running it. I think you'll find that all three are pretty excited about Moab. As they should be. It's a cool market and it's got a lot of potential. So yeah, it'll be exciting.
Okay.
Okay, my only other thing was, as you know, we're down 3 positions. We're only going to backfill 2. So we've got 4 applicants for the ops manager position and we've got 3 for the ops manager position. We've got 4 for the admin position. So I'm looking through those resumes right now and I'll get back to you. Look, right now, there's a couple of resumes that are really rising up to the top of the experience list, one in each.
Oh, good.
One in each position. So I'll be talking to those people and finding out what the fit is and working with HR, and we'll get those positions filled as quickly as possible so that we don't have kind of this confused meeting that we had today, but I really appreciate Dana stepping in and kind of helping out, and then we'll be able to get the minutes out in a timely fashion. So I don't really have much else to tell you unless you've got questions.
So we'll catch up on all the airport data when we get an admin.
Yes. Yeah.
Somebody was trying.
Rachel, I think, was trying
Sorry,
to.
Rachel.
Yeah, I have something. I've got just some misinformation that I'd like to clarify that's been going around town about Contour Airlines. Contour Airlines is interlined with United, American, Alaskan, and JetBlue. That means you can book on any of those platforms and fly directly from Moab to or from.
Who's spreading the misinformation?
I don't know, but I've heard it a lot. And so I just wanted to clarify that
Okay.
openly and in this meeting that, is you can get on United and book all the way through to Moab. Everybody checks their bags all the way through JetBlue, with other ones coming on board in the very near future. So it's a growing company. So I just wanted to clarify that
Well,
it works exactly the same as CodeShare. So
okay, perfect. When we come there for the meeting, let's just make sure that we clarify that, have Ben make sure he clarifies all that. So it'll be February 18th, right? I'm assuming you'll
Yeah.
be there.
you'll be seeing some advertising as well, some information put around, but
Good. Okay, I assumed you'd be there, so we can start trying to clear some of that up then too.
It's interesting, Rachel, when I went to the little reach out that was at the Zions a couple of weeks ago, I did not get that impression from the person that was hosting that meeting.
Well,
about the code share.
That was Luke. It's
Just to clarify that.
there are a couple of differences, and we'll get further into that as we meet with the airlines.
Yeah, it's not exactly the same as code share by any means, but
That's
it
what I
does
thought,
need to
yeah.
be cleared up and ironed out, so.
Yeah, so we'll make sure that
That's also the difference between a
Yeah, I've been
part
booking-
130.
I've been booking separately because sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Does that mean the code share means you can go to Alaska Air and book a flight from Moab?
No.
no, that's interlining.
Code share would mean if we're going to Denver, then the code share airline is United, so it'd be a branded United flight. You'd be flying United only.
Solid.
If it was going to Salt Lake, it'd be Delta. And what the interline does is whoever they're connected with would be someone that you could go with. The only book a flight go online and just book a couple of flights from different places to here and see what comes up.
Well, I'm meaning like if you wanted to fly somewhere and
Like
where it
go
was SkyWest,
New York
you go to United and just pick the flight.
But if you go to New
Even though
York,
they had a subsidiary SkyWest serving
Yeah.
that contract.
right. it
But
would
as far
be-
as I was
It
concerned,
wouldn't really be SkyWest, it would be
I
United.
was thinking United, exactly,
It
but
would
it wasn't
It
SkyWest.
would be Delta. It's SkyWest that's operating it, but they would be branded as one of those other airlines. So the way to do it and what has been interesting to me is just book a flight from New York to Canyonlands and see what pops up.
Okay.
Then,
On United.
no, just don't even look. Go to Expedia
Okay.
and go
It's
New York
Google
Canyonlands.
search.
Sometimes it works.
It does. So anyway, something to think about.
Steve, I have a question for you,
Yeah.
real quick on the EAS. Assuming the county, gets this approved on a timely basis and it gets to the DOT, is the DOT, will they be able to turn this around so we can?
I can't predict how
Okay.
fast they're gonna move. I would certainly hope so.
Okay,
They got the RFP out right on schedule, so I'm assuming
Okay.
that they're on top of it.
okay, cool.
Let's see. Any other reports from any board members? All right. So I had a couple questions on the county committee. Bill, that's
Yes.
being put together, how is the airport being represented there? should some of us go talk to people, or should we show up, or what else should we do?
No, it's not an open public meeting, it's just 3 commissioners, and there are some people that'll be showing up, the airport director, I think we've got an invite out to him, the economic development director, until we just kind of get some idea laid out, and then we'll report it back to the airport board and try and start spreading out from there.
Okay.
But it'll be an invitation thing to kind of get the commissioners educated first and then see what direction we'd really like to start seeing the airport kind of go in.
Yeah, it'll be good, it'll be good to have a little higher profile.
Who's the committee?
On the commissioner itself, so to get a couple more involved is, other than just Bill, who's carrying the water.
Bill, Melody, and Mary McGann are the 3 commissioners.
That's okay. Let's see. We obviously need to expand the agenda to include all the things we've talked about, the main
Yes.
items we've talked about. And so next time, I wanna have everybody submit items they wanna talk about, especially, what's his name? And.
So we'll make sure
You
that
tell
each
me what I'll
project.
talk about, I want, yeah, whatever we need.
We'll live out every project and that will.
We just need to, if we're gonna have an item like, you know, the seal or whatever, we need to have it on the agenda.
Right, okay, and
A lot of that fell into future considerations too, and it was just put we kind of threw it in the middle. None of it required a vote.
we did speak about it at the last meeting too. I mean, we're trying, but I'll make sure it's on the agenda for the next one.
And then for, you know, the future considerations allows us to.
Yeah.
Do all that a little bit better, so we don't.
I'll make sure that each project is listed.
And we can.
And we'll
drop
put an
the open
EAS.
All that as they complete.
We'll put an EAS agenda item as well.
And then on future projects, I think we need to talk about the what we're gonna do in 27, 28.
Mhm.
Kind of refresh that now that we've restacked some of those things a little bit. Also want to talk about the recently approved infrastructure money for airports. Infrastructure that Congress just put in place. I think there's some money there we ought to probably be looking at for what we can do.
Is there any information you can get to me on that?
I think you're aware of the bill that got passed, that it's the one where they're replacing radios and all kinds of equipment with.
Yeah.
So that one, I think just the
Yeah, it
president.
would just depend on how specific it is.
Yeah.
And whether,
I don't
which
know,
airport.
it just barely happens, I don't know how.
Okay.
We ought to think about what we're gonna do, maybe, I don't know how much it would fall under Lochner's concern, or is it more general?
If it's not an AIP, it's not gonna be Lochner unless there's a construction
Yeah,
component to it.
or maybe,
If it's not on our
But there-
AIP
but there-
list, which is already put together for the next.
well, but this
several years.
is new money.
Yeah, I'm saying if we can find a way to use it,
You know, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah.
It's
Definitely.
not part of the AIP money,
No.
as I understand it.
Well, then that, yeah, we would include Lochner if needed.
Okay, so we want to get that on the agenda. Certainly EAS needs to be on future considerations and on the agenda. We need to, I don't know if we need to do anything. We'll assume that all the minutes from this meeting and from the January meeting will have a admin in place by then. We'll be able to talk about those next meeting.
They'll be coming, or I'll find somebody that can,
Yeah.
or I'll find somebody that can type those. I'd do them myself,
We've
but
got
that's all I
we've
would
got a
do
whole
all
month.
day.
I assume you'll have that in place like next week.
Yes, I would hope.
So, let's see. So the to-do stuff that I see is Steve is gonna send a map.
Yep.
Let's see,
Then the EAS.
And a slideshow.
yeah. And then we're okay. We already talked about that. All right, and then. So I guess my to-do list is to get with the new admin, whoever that is, before the next meeting and go over that, and of course, the new admin needs to be trained in the
Well, and it's
open meeting and how to
very likely.
run the hardware.
timing wise, it's very likely gonna be Dana again. The new admin won't be up and running by that quick and trained.
No.
So we'll have Dana here to help us again.
Okay.
Yeah, going through the hiring process and getting her onboarded, why? But we don't even have anybody hired yet, so the interview process is still ongoing. That might be pushing it.
Next time.
Yeah, we haven't, it's not officially closed even, so we're waiting to make sure we get the best.
But Dana's great, Bill. She'll help you.
Right. The other thing that I wanna get on the agenda is pending, hangar projects at the airport, the status on those.
Yeah.
We've got, I know that, but.
We've got one under construction and one that is still going through the process.
For future consideration, you may want to consider another form of funding from the new TRT grant. There's a new part of the legislation there that might allow for some grant funding from beyond what we already receive from transient room taxes. That law just changed, but there is a fund available that can apply for mitigation funds.
What's the acronym mean?
Huh?
What does the acronym mean?
Transient room tax.
You said UACR or something?
Oh, yeah, it's based on the TRT, transient room tax and restaurant tax collections.
Doesn't the county have to apply for that?
It's the grant fund that's on top of the 4.25% was the extra percentage, but that's a fund of money that is set aside to help mitigate.
What's that fund for?
What's
That's a TRT.
It's under transient room taxes.
Just TRT grant fund, transient room tax.
No, what funds the airport?
The next meeting will be on the 2nd.
Next meeting will be on the 2nd.
Okay.
of March.
It's not really a report, but given it's so hard to find and keep good help, whoever it was that helped me with my annual, getting my number recertified, Cassidy, is that her name?
Cass, yeah.
Cass, she's really great, so. I
Thank
just wanted
you.
to call
I
that.
appreciate
Yeah.
hearing that. Yeah, she's good. We've got a good group.
Knowledgeable, was pretty enthusiastic about everything, so it's good.
Yep, we
I
got a
thought there
good
were
group.
3
We wanna
hangars.
keep them.
Well, let's see, there's skydives and.
Ryman.
Rideman. There's another one that is looking very closely. There's about 5 other people that are calling me and asking around about that.
Process, 2
Two are in
that
process
at least.
and one other one that is really close to pulling the trigger. So we're close to 3.
Okay. And the first 2 were, leases have been signed.
Yes.
I knew, okay.
There's meetings on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. Are we just meeting at the hangar?
No, it's at the terminal.
Terminal, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, terminal.
Um,
Yeah.
Got it.
Not gonna be a formal thing. We'll have some chairs set up and stuff, but
Oh, cool.
it's just an opportunity to come and meet them.
Okay.
Denver Air, I know, has a presentation that they would like to give, so we'll
Oh, okay.
try and get a screen going and so that they can put that out.
Can you guys, will you send out a Google invite on that, or do you have the times already on those?
I have all the times except
Okay.
for
Denver.
The third.
Denver, which I'm not sure. We're just calling it
Oh, you know,
9:30 because that's when they were gonna do the other ones. I'm
Okay.
assuming that's when they'll be.
9:30 on each day, 17th.
No.
12:30 on the 17th.
12:30, okay.
12:30, 2 o'clock and 9:30. Almost 17, 18, 19.
Yeah,
SkyWest is at 12:30 now?
12:30. They made it
So
early.
The email you sent me is all screwed up,
What did I send you?
2:30.
Well, we changed that because it was council meeting night.
Okay, we
So-
or you did, but I didn't get an update.
You didn't get an update.
Thank you.
Here's your update right now.
So the 18th
12:30, because we just got it finished up, Bill.
12:30, 1:30 and
God, you guys are tough today. I don't know what's going on.
We got calendars. We got
Unless
18th at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock,
all of that, yes.
Lori's got her hand up.
unless he changes.
Who does?
Lori.
Oh, Lori.
Hey,
Go ahead,
I was just gonna say, I appreciate you letting me listen into the meeting. If there's anything we can do with San Juan County, we're trying to work very collaboratively with Grand County because we feel that it benefits both counties. And so whatever you guys need from our end, will you let me know? Because we definitely feel the effects with things that happen in your county. So just let me know
For
what you
sure.
need from us.
Well, for one thing, you can come to these 3 days of meetings and talk to airlines and spread that message. I'm gonna say those one more time. Cause I think that, I'll make sure everybody knows, SkyWest, February 17th, 12:30. Contour, February 18th, 2 p.m. Denver Air Connections, February 19th, 9:30 a.m. We all got it?
Yes.
Okay.
Alrighty. Does anybody else have any other future considerations? Okay, do we need to do a closed session? No, okay. So we'll, if no one has any objections, we'll have the meeting closed.
Motion to adjourn.
At this time.
Thanks, everyone.
Meeting adjourned.
Thanks, guys.